Hi, welcome everybody to Radpod and Chill. Can you hear me? I forgot to do a mic check. Hi-Fi. All right.
You're good.
Good.
You're good.
Heidi Kuda's here with Jim Stewartson, High Fidelity. I'm really looking forward to talking about this crazy week that we've had. Who wants to kick it off? There's so much to talk about.
I want to kick it off.
Good.
I want to kick it off because Jay Rance made the funniest goddamn thing about Trump's hair in the wind, and we just need to see it. So here it is.
Be patient. Don't dive right in. Okay, at this point I have a decent amount. I'm going to take the cotton candy stick and I'm going to grab it here. And if I try to twirl it inside the machine, it gets a little bit more stickier. So you repeat the same process for all your cotton candy.
Yeah, that makes me laugh every time I see it. It's funny.
I like a little more stickier. Just a little more stickier.
I just have to give a shout out to my good friend Jay Rance, who is a fucking genius and constantly comes up with really funny stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was fucking funny.
Jay Rance is metal, among the very metal friends that we have. I am so excited that we're going to be talking about episode 94, our conversation with veteran newsman Tom Carter about Leonard Leo and the Catholic Mafia, that important legacy media was too afraid to touch for way too long. And he said some things that are just so important, and I just want to make sure I repeat one of them because it's very germane to the events of the day. To create a fascist society, you have to get the judges. Oh, wow. So many people were so surprised today. Like, where have they been? What were you surprised about? What do you think we've all been talking about for the last, decade? Certainly, Hillary Clinton warned us this was going to happen. So why so surprised?
I don't know who's surprised. I mean, that's the thing. Like, all of this just feels like performance art to me. Everybody in the fucking country seems to kind of know what's going on, but they just want to focus on the hush money trial. Let's talk about fucking Karen McDougal, right? In the meantime, right? Ginny Thomas's fucking husband is having a debate with the Trump lawyer about whether it should be okay for presidents to murder people.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's up with that? What's up with that?
This not. This morning was very difficult for me to stomach. I know you don't watch the TV, and that's probably good.
I do not.
But I listened to these fucking monsters just twist themselves and their fascist little hearts into fucking pretzels to figure out how can we make it seem like we just like, geez Louise, you just gotta, you can't go after any president because who knows what could happen to Biden, right? Biden, whatever, the inflation went up, so they're gonna put him in prison, right? Like they're trying to make these the same fucking thing, and it's infuriating. Sick, as we found out from our amazing fucking guest this week, 6 of 9 of those people were put there by organized crime. Arguably, 5 of them by an illegitimate president, including W and fucking Trump. And how do we get W? We got W because the fucking Supreme Court rolled over and said, no, we don't want to count those votes. And by the way, and I'll land here, who was in charge of the operation in Florida to cause a bunch of chaos and shit around hanging chads and stuff? Anybody remember?
I would say Roger Stone. He certainly took credit for it. Who
That's
else?
Brooks Brothers riot.
Yeah.
The Brooks Brothers riot
Yeah.
was exactly the same thing in a smaller scale, and they were wearing fucking suits instead of tactical gear.
Yeah.
But it had the same effect that they were trying to have on J6, and the effect that they did have in 2016. So I've been listening to Flynn. Flynn is just Q now. I mean, like today he was like, well, what we need is all the digital soldiers, and if you need to get a new job, get a new job. And we've got, we have our citizen journalists out here, and we need them to rise. And he said this, like 2016, like 2017, and 2020.
Yeah.
Now, what happened in each of those years? Pizzagate, WikiLeaks, which not arguably stole the 2016 election. Q in 2017, and then the big lie and J6 in 2020. The motherfucker's just going like, we're gonna do another one of those out loud and telling these people it's go time. Fucking quit your job. Like whatever you got to do. I don't care how big or small. We're at a spiritual war. And I've just been watching him just go absolutely bonkers along with his entire family because
We'll
talk about that later.
Yeah, no, I want to thank you for the report you wrote about the escalation because again, last week was so surreal. Like I could see everything that was coming and then immediately there it was. And it's like I just couldn't put words to it because it was just too unbelievable. And so I'm very grateful that you did. And if we want to talk about that later, we will. But the escalation of desperation is what we're seeing. And we've talked about this a lot, that it's existential for all parties. And today, when I saw the clips you posted from Mike Flynn, it was almost like he was performing for you, like calling out you, saying, all the leftist,
oh no, yeah, no, that was me. He literally listed the stuff that he put in his lawsuit against me. The funny part of it was in that clip, he says, they're going to call me a Christian nationalist and a Nazi and all of these things, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll tell my fucking lawyers.
You
grifting fascist fuck.
I think that's been adjudicated, so I think it's okay to say.
I don't know if fascist fuck is adjudicated.
Oh well.
But I'm willing to go to that.
Fascist fuck falls under rhetorical hyperbole. Sorry.
I love the cottonmouth and the rhetorical hyperbole.
Hyperbole. I don't even know if it's hyperbole.
HiFi. Even
that
though
means he's just making shit up, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Jim might fall asleep like Trump in court, but I do want you to do that math again at some point on why there is a true argument to be made about flooding the Supreme Court based on the amount of people that now live in America, as opposed to when the court was first formed and staffed. So I know we run the risk of Jim nodding off again, but it really was an important point that you were making that we were making fun of you about. You don't have to do it now.
I won't do it now. I don't want to put Jim to sleep this early. However, I do need to point something out that I picked up from one of Dee's friends. Dee's friend pointed out to me that we just had that show on Leonard Leo. Yeah. And if you go back down our YouTube channel and through our videos, you'll find the L Lin Wood Network in 6 minutes. It turns out that just recently, Mr. Leonard Leo, he of the Catholic Mafia, had a podcast with PayPal Mafia member and former controlled opposite Lin Wood, Mr. Joe Lonsdale.
Yeah.
Just once more showing the network in bright, blinking fucking lights for people.
Yeah. Just in case they missed it.
Just in case you missed it, folks.
I remind people of Leonard Leo and Peter Thiel have quite a few connections, including through Arne Panula, the Federalist Society, a bunch of bizarre connectivity going on there between. Peter Thiel was the president of the Federalist Society at Stanford. And guess who was one of his underlings when he was president? The son of Supreme Court Justice, or then Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy.
I just wanted to tell you guys, I hate listening back to our podcast, but it's so important. And I just hate hearing my own voice. It's like, you don't want to like have to go through it again, but I do it because obviously I want to get the clips. I want to get the content. I want to be able to do print versions of the story. And as I was listening back, I was so proud of our team, because somebody who is just completely in the weeds on this extremist lawyer who's responsible for a half dozen of the extremist members on the Supreme Court. You guys, like, just, you know, he'll throw out something like, well, Thiel was mentored by that priest. And it's like, you guys just immediately know the networks. You map it out. How you keep all that in your brains, I really don't understand, because it's not easy to retain all that.
Because it always comes back.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Well done. Well done.
I was waiting for it.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, HiFi is right, and I didn't fucking know this going into this, but there is a very distinct and clear network with a finite number of people that it always connects to.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
You've always got Thiel and Flynn and Bannon and Stone and Prince and fucking
Elon Musk.
Saudis, and then you've got, Mercer and Cope, all the American oligarchs who are funding all of this shit behind the scenes. And then we've allowed this entire Christo-fascist, like, psychological warfare hierarchy to get built up, from the Manhattan Institute to the, as my friend Gal says, the Institutes of Mass Destruction. We've allowed this fucking, monster, this kind of twinned alternate, as it were, shadow government.
Yeah.
That sits alongside of the rest of us, and we could get rid of it. We could.
We can.
But it is an extra constitutional, anti-rule of law, anti-American operation.
Yeah.
And if we had any courage at all, anywhere in the media, in the fucking, in the Justice Department, in law enforcement, or in the military, we could do something about it. It's finite. I can describe it. I can point it to nodes. I can build you networks. I can do all of that. It doesn't fucking matter, because there is some sort of death grip that these people have on each other, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll land here. But Peter Thiel is a huge contractor. Palantir, the aforementioned Joe Lonsdale, is a huge contractor to the United States across all sorts of shit. Not to mention Elon Musk is built into the whole fucking system. And so, sadly, what it looks like increasingly is the government is trying to live with it, right? They think that they can contain it, that we can vote ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
We cannot vote ourselves out of this. Yes, we need to vote. All of us and everybody we know has to fucking vote, but it's insufficient, because these people don't want elections.
Right.
They don't. The whole point is to get rid of elections. And so if we are simply relying on the idea that if we all just get out the vote, it's going to be fine, we're going to lose.
Well, that should actually bring us to, I don't know if it was the first clip or the second clip where we mentioned the New Deal. Do you want to just roll one of the clips from Tom Carter? He worked for for 3 years with Leonard Leo, and he worked in the news business for a long time, and grateful that he's in the posse now.
He helped get Clarence onto the
Right.
Supreme Court.
Exactly.
But Roberts and Alito, he picked, vetted, campaigned for, got them on, got them confirmed. Then Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. So he's got 6 of 9. I don't oppose extreme devout Catholics being involved in the political, public square. I do oppose 6 of anything.
Yes, of course.
Dominated. I don't care if they're Muslims, Scientologists, Mormons, atheists, whatever. 6 of anything dominating the Supreme Court is not democracy.
These people are enemies of democracy. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
We have seen without a shadow of a doubt that they're infiltrators. They have the conspiracy of fucking fascist theocrats and foreign agents has managed to put 6 of the 9 members on the court. Now, for me, so yesterday, before they did this fucking shit, they said they're going to take a case to determine whether it's okay to make it illegal for hospitals to take care of women who are having emergencies.
Yeah.
Even after they've forced them into these life-threatening situations, if they're bleeding on the fucking street, the Supreme Court's going to decide whether it's okay to fucking leave them there. We are not dealing with a legitimate branch of government anymore. We just aren't. And I think as a population, as citizens of this country, we're going to have to do something real about this. This is a live or die moment for the Constitution and therefore for our democracy. These people are step by step dismantling and rendering meaningless our founding documents. They are attacking them with every single fucking word that they say and attacking the citizens of the country. You've got people like Amy Coney Barrett, who is a literal handmaid. She, according to people of praise doctrine, is required to do the bidding of 5 old white men called coordinators. I shit you not. 5 old white men called coordinators run people of praise. It's her religion. It's above the Constitution, which is why she's acting like she is, why she's getting up there and blowing away any promises that she made. These people are enemies of the country. And unfortunately, it means that any prosecutions that we might see, right, are all going to get appealed up to the Supreme Court. And what's going to fucking happen? These people are willing to let women die on the street. They are willing to let presidents murder people at random because they don't like them. We're going to have to and I am not ever about any sort of chaos, much less violence. However, this is the sort of shit where as a citizenry, you gotta step up and say, listen, this is not okay. This is not allowed, and we're not going to allow it.
Well, from where I'm sitting, I believe that when we take back the House and in the next Biden administration, we start with impeaching Clarence Thomas. It's like we can do things. Yes, we can flood the courts. Yes, we can, and we probably should. But it's like, we got to start somewhere. So Clarence Thomas has been revealed to be quite corrupt. The people that you're mentioning do not represent democracy in any way. They're not working for the Constitution. They're working for their gods and their various cults, as you just described. That is not a representative government. And here we are. And we knew this was going to happen. And here we are. We're in a post-Roe world. Roe was overturned. Our environmental protections are overturned. They're trying to remove everything that the New Deal put in place. And I think we go to our second clip here, unless one of you guys wants to comment.
I would just like to say that we've already experienced this in this country before. We know that there was a business plot, a Wall Street pooch, right? This is the exact same thing, except it's not coming from Wall Street, it's coming from Silicon Valley. Why is this so difficult for people to understand? It amazes me the lack of coverage that we see in corporate media. And then we get this article today about how the New York Times is down on Biden's age because some bullshit they haven't gotten an interview with him.
Yeah.
You're influencing American politics because of a personal grudge.
Yeah.
Get over it, bud. Let's look at the other stuff that's going on in the country.
Not get over it. The New York Times is failing spectacularly. I don't want to use the word failing because it falls into the propaganda terms. We can no longer be surprised at the media. Give me a better word than fail. Let's just not look to the New York Times for anything anymore. If you want to
they are
talk,
impotent. They are limp.
Okay.
They lack efficacy.
I should say they have an investigative team that can still do really great work, but they are not doing anything to be helpful in this moment at the level that we need them to be, which is why we interviewed Tom Carter originally. But I just want to tell you guys that what should be on the front page of the New York Times, I don't think it was, is the secret meeting between Peter Thiel and Leonard Leo with the donor group that's meeting to draw up the 2024 plans. That's what we need to be looking at and exposing. But as Tom Carter told us in our interview, there was no, he was unable to get the New York Times to even warn anybody about Leonard Leo and what was coming. So yes,
hold on. Leonard Leo met with Peter Thiel.
Rockbridge Network, collection of pro-Trump donors, a couple days ago, had a little conference that Trump phoned into. People are involved, like Leo and Thiel. Yes.
Hold on. I thought that Pulitzer Prize winning author, whatever the fuck he is, Barton Gellman, told us that Peter Thiel was stepping back from politics. So apparently there's a lie there. So either Barton Gellman is a fucking joke or...
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Do you know who is also in the crowd? Rebecca Mercer. It's like
Rebecca Mercer. Oh,
2016 all over again.
Yeah, Barton also said that Mike Flynn wrote a whole article about how Mike Flynn was crazy, and Barton Gellman happened to be one of the reporters that Snowden gave Mike Flynn's classified documents to.
Everybody's friends. Everybody's friends.
Weird how you take his fucking Russian documents to give to the Russians, and then you cover for him a few years I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Oh, this group that I was just telling you about is the brainchild to JD Vance, another Teal replicant. I don't know. It's also awful and dumb. Let's go to the second clip. Let's pull ourselves out of this horrible bad billionaire rut.
Well, everybody's stuck in the bad billionaire rut, but here's some more Tom.
And I always point out that while there are dozens of books and articles on the Christian national, the evangelical Protestant Christian nationalists, there's next to nothing on the Catholic world. And it's Leonard Leo and Leo's court that are putting the points on the board. They're the ones that getting rid of Roe. They're the ones changing the gun laws. They're the ones threatening all the climate change stuff. Basically, everything since the New Deal. They want to wipe the New Deal off all the social safety net, Social Security, Medicare, all the stuff that the government does to help people. They want to get rid of it so they can operate like the oil barons and the railroad barons of 100 years ago. And they're getting it. You know, as I was talking to somebody the other day, people don't realize the Leo court, regardless of what happens, unless it's expanded somehow, will be running this country for the next 40 years.
So I guess we're looking forward to a 40-year bad billionaire rut. If this continues.
I mean, that brings up what Heidi was talking about before, which is Supreme Court justices are lifetime appointees. Now, when Supreme Court justices were invented, people lived to be like 40, 45 years old. Like the distortion that, you know, and it's not just the right, I guess, but yeah, it is, you know, have been weaponizing the fact that our fucking Constitution is old. That's what all of this is, right? They take the plain language of, you know, free speech, of the, you know, the much less Second Amendment, and completely fucking distort it. And you know, that is the trick that they continuously play, is to just take the plain obvious words of something and twist it, and to get originalist when it suits them, and then ignore it when it doesn't, right? And all of that is, at its very core, it's anti-American, it's anti-constitutional, it's anti-democratic, and as a people, as a nation, we've got to start getting okay with saying, hey, you don't get to do that here. You don't get to do that here anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not like some liberal thing, right? It is the very, very essence of everything that we are. And they are trying to twist it into something that is the opposite of what was always intended. And it you know, it breaks my fucking heart. And what we're gonna need to do is have an update. We're gonna have to upgrade this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I think we are past the point where we're gonna go back to the old ways, and let's just, you know, if we get enough Congress people and we just move politics around this or that way, that's not where we're at right now, I'm afraid.
No.
We're going to need we're going to need vision. We're going to need, you know, balls. Not, you know, usually those come from women. You know what I mean?
We do know, metaphorically speaking, cajoning.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say something right now. Because the plan for what we need to do already exists, sort of. The blueprint is out there. The blueprint is out there because the other side has already created it. They have told us exactly what they are going to do. Project 25 lays it all out. We're going to remove all these people from the government. We're going to eradicate regulation. We're going to have a constitutional convention in which 2/3 of the state call for an amending of the Constitution, and they start changing things on a large scale. This is all not my idea. This is things that the GOP has put out there. This is the Kochs. This is the Heritage Foundation. This is the Council for National Policy. They've already given us the blueprint of how to fix this system. We simply need to act on that blueprint before they do. That's all.
I got so many great quotes from Wes Clark Jr. over the weekend. He's obviously, he's more optimistic than we are because he thinks that we're going to crush all this shit in November. And I feel like two things can be right at once, that yes, maybe we're going to crush all this shit in November and we're still going to have this big daunting problem on our hands until we actually get a little bit better at dealing with treason in America. But he said something amazing. He said government and bureaucracy became bad words in the United States in the 80s, but people should understand that bureaucracy is quite literally the foundation of civilization. Without bureaucracy, there is no civilization because the foundations of it were in canal building and irrigation back in the ancient times, and it evolves like everything else. And I just absolutely love that. And also, he talked a lot about anyone who thinks Trump's going to be good for the environment is absolutely fucking delusional. So I think we need to get a bit smarter with our messaging. And again, I see what you're saying, Jim, and I also see what he's saying. And all I know is I'm going to work my ass off between now and November. And that's all I can do.
Yeah, I love Wes. I think it's likely true that we will crush the vote. I hope, but I'm here to say there are millions of people who have been told repeatedly over and over and over again there will not be an election.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
That there will be black swans, that there will be violence, that there will be this, that they're trying to pump up this fucking pro-Hamas radical leftist versus Proud Boy conflict to create another 2020 BLM situation.
The most obvious shit.
Obvious.
It's obvious. It's obvious to us.
Yeah.
Because we've lived through it, we've watched, but that's the thing. That's the problem with our fucking government and our media. We need to talk about psychological warfare. Because if you understand it, if you understand how it works and what is going on, and that the conflict between these two poles is the point, then you can just do stuff like it took me 5 fucking seconds to figure out that this woman that the right wing is passing around as some kind of pro-Hamas, in Cop City, Colombia, some fucking compound or whatever, is being paid by this millionaire nut job who is a literal terrorist who thinks he's in Hamas and wants the end of democracy. And he's the one who's funding this crazy ass group of weirdos. Like, this is a bunch of rich people manipulating a bunch of poor people in order to cause chaos and get what they want. And as a poor person, I am sick of it.
Yeah, I understand. I'm also sick of people who should know better, who are, making fun of people who actually do this type of research and have for a long time and can see the patterns in the operations. If we are not questioning the infiltration of these operations, then I think that, we're not doing anybody a service. I mean, it's like the trucker ops without trucks, it's like the Ianov indictments, which was paying groups on the left and the right to agitate. It's like, we've seen all this shit. Yes, much of it is organic, but Occupy Wall Street, the Women's March, You know, like how much was organic? How much becomes infiltrated? How much were teams of, you know, fucking operatives infiltrating? Like, you know, the whole point is to make government look like a fucking hot mess and like we can't manage ourselves. And if we're not looking at motivations of that, then I think we're not doing anybody a service. Personally.
Well, the whole point of the government being a hot mess, I would. There is an argument against the efficiency and functioning of our government and how it works. But the options you have when a system is not functioning correctly is to either rip and replace it or do an upgrade in place, right? And what these fascists want to do is they want to rip the entire system out. They want chaos, they want death, they want destruction, and then they're going to install their system where they run everything and oppress
dictatorship.
Else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need an upgrade. We don't get to an upgrade if we're a fascist dictatorship. No. That's it. You know, we get a fucking asshole like the Belarusian dictator saying, I'm coming for your families. That's what we get. We're already seeing how desperate the ops are because we hear this team is experiencing people, you know, attacking our colleagues, our friends, infiltrating people that we love. And it's like, you know, if they're going to do it for us, then, you know, it's just the start. So, you know, I don't know. I wish
and
that
it's just going to ratchet up.
I wish people could see what we are saying, because I think what we are seeing is just the beginning, and it's going to be quite ugly and challenging between now and November. But if we had a framework for it, it would be a bit less scary.
Yeah, yes, there is a framework for it. It is the framework that our adversaries are using. Our adversaries are using the framework of cognitive war, hybrid war, irregular war, there unrestricted war. There are lots of words for it, but it has to do with using all non-kinetic means to go after a population to get it ready, and this is very important, to get it ready for kinetic action.
Yeah.
Always. They softened up Ukraine with psyops for fucking years and years. Russia is completely controlled by its own internal psyops. And until we start to recognize, like, look, this happened. We in 2016 we came under a hybrid warfare attack. An irregular warfare attack. Mike Flynn said it, an insurgency. Then it started again in 2017, and we saw it in 2020, obviously. And for, this is important, 3.5 fucking years.
Yeah.
These people have been absolutely free, except for a couple of Proud Boys who are sprinkled around in the prisons. Absolutely free.
Sorry.
To build up this insane Christo-fascist, Christian nationalist movement that is where it's not some LARP on 4chan anymore, 8chan, right? It's not cute. It's God. Yeah. They're weaponizing God. They are weaponizing the magical thinking that my brothers and sisters who have faith all share, which is a belief in a higher power, something greater than them, and that is what is being weaponized this time.
Right.
It's not conspiracy theories and games and Hillary's a satanic pedophile. They're in your church. They're in your family. Yeah. This is different. And it's going to be worse. And unless we can kind of, as a population and as a government, come to grips with this, it's going to overtake us.
On that note, on that Christo-fascist note, I want to just say that this group that met, all I know about Thiel is billionaire Peter Thiel has been among those involved. I don't know if he was actually there with Leo, but some of the other people I mentioned were like Rebecca Mercer and Woody Johnson and Leonard Leo.
Mercer is basically the same thing as Tia.
I understand, and it's a JD Vance operation, so it's all the same. Everyone's friends, but I do want to tell everybody, news flash, Bad Faith, a film that I've been talking about a lot that's based on Ann Nelson's book Shadow Network. You can finally stream it starting tomorrow. You can pre-order it now. Go to badfaithdocumentary.com. It's a very important movie. Everything that we were talking about with Tom Carter in our Leonard Leo expose, you'll get the full backstory there. And I recommend everybody watch it, share that information with your friends. We had Brent Allpress on a few episodes ago. He was the key researcher on the film. And so there's a lot of information from the RadPod team available for those to understand exactly what Jim is talking about. This stuff is real. People's empathy and community, their need for community has been weaponized to mobilize them to vote for dictatorship and against democracy. And it's really not that much more difficult. I love what Tom Carter said about the unholy trinity of the libertarian billionaires, the Christian national foot soldiers, and the extremist Catholics. They can't mobilize people based on their racist white supremacist policies, based on the fact that they want to turn us all into peasants and go live in their Hawaiian bunkers, as Jason Stanley said. So they have to make up all this other shit. And unfortunately, the other shit is going after women, bringing back the patriarchy, which is something that we also talked about on our Jason Stanley interview. And, we got a lot of work to do. But as HiFi said, we can upgrade the system. We can't upgrade the system if we lose control of our democracy. And today was a very ugly example of,
it was, for me, it was a very, it was grim for a bunch of reasons, but it was, the morning was, the Supreme Court obviously pre-deciding that they were going to give Trump, presidential immunity. And then the afternoon was a bunch of fucking lawyers who know better sitting around talking about Karen McDougal and David Pecker and this bullshit. And
yeah.
It makes me fucking insane, because that is exactly what they want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they want. It's not about the absolute dismantling of our constitutional framework and the rule of law. It's about a quasi sketchy fucking sort of crime from 8 years ago having to do with porn stars and people who went to prison.
However, there is one thing that happened that made it all worthwhile, at least for just a few moments, and that was this Chiron made me laugh so hard.
That's fake.
But
I know, but it's still funny.
But for me, see, that's like Berlusconi's Italy. It's like titillating. It's distracting. It's the clowns. It's like that's not going to get us closer to where we need to be. Let's see the third clip. On that note, let's see the third clip from Tom Carter.
All right.
Yeah, HiFi.
Yeah, so there.
Final thing I'd love from you, and thank you guys. This was an incredible conversation. I got so much out of it. Final comment for you. We met because Ann Nelson sent me your op-ed showing the travails of trying to get the New York Times to do something on Leo. If the New York Times had done something on Leonard Leo when he really posed the threat that he posed, do you think we'd be in this situation? And does that paper still have the power to derail this fascist train?
People ask me that all the time. Would it have made any difference? And the answer is, I don't know. But what I do know is if the New York Times had done something in 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, that would have given everybody else permission to do something as well. And all of those tax forms and everything, that ProPublica and others have dug up in the past 2 years, they would have been found back then. Would that have made a lot of difference? Well, it would have. Every article you see begins with Leonard Leo is the most powerful man in America that you've never heard of. We would have heard of him. I think he should be covered the way the paparazzi cover Kim Kardashian and George Santos and Meghan and Harry. They should be camped on his doorstep. Right now, we've got 6 little old ladies in Maine in tennis shoes camped out at Leonard's doorstep. Where's everybody else? What could if they did it today? Would it do anything? I don't know.
Wow.
It seems like we are fed the clowns while the real danger, the spiders, lurk in the shadows.
There was one particular person that I was pleased that got indicted. So there were indictments.
Yes.
So there were new indictments in Arizona.
Yeah, it's important.
But as usual, they didn't get the big fish. They didn't get any of them. Trump is unindicted co-conspirator. They didn't get Sidney Powell or Patrick Byrne or Mike Flynn, any of the fucking people who were literally in the White House when they planned J6. So, and I know for a fact from people that I have spoken to directly that Mike Flynn was all over Arizona.
Yeah.
Not only all over Arizona, but running operations in Arizona with white nationalists, like a lot.
Let's talk about Bobsky. Go ahead.
What?
Let's talk about
Bobsky.
Christina Bobsky because
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
That's my point. Is we've got all that going on, but they got Bobsky.
Yeah.
So Christina Bob, if people are not aware, is like the Forrest Gump of Flynn fascism. She was Flynn's lawyer and Hat Tip Insider was Flynn's lawyer in Afghanistan and traveled around with him, basically doing PR for his operation and trying to make legal excuses for murdering Muslims for sport with Eric Prince. So she pops up in the Trump administration and DHS in 2019, had an actual fucking job, this complete airhead that but at DHS, and then in 2020 ends up raising $1.5 million for cyber ninjas and fraudits in Arizona, specifically for Arizona. And where did she raise it from? Where did she launder that shit? America's Future, Mike Flynn's 501c3 that was founded 78 years ago by Iran-Contra criminal Jack fucking Singlaw. That is where the $1.5 million for all the fraudits. I don't know if anybody who was paying any attention, you remember the endless streams of like fucking podcasters for 15 hours in a row, like watching people like on video counting votes and shit. All of that was funded by Mike Flynn and Christina Bob through this nonprofit. Oh, also the America Project, which is Patrick Byrne's thing, did a bunch of that. None of those people were even. There aren't even unindicted co-conspirators. I do not understand. But Christina Bob is interesting because then after she did all of that shit for 2020, then she rolled into being Trump's lawyer.
Yeah.
And then she covered up
Yes.
Literally signed her name on the dotted line saying, "There's
Yes.
no more documents in Mar-a-Lago. What do you mean?"
Yeah. Yes.
And then the FBI is like, "There's 11,000 documents
Yes.
in giant boxes."
Yeah.
And then Trump tried to literally have them flooded with the pool. He told the pool guy to fucking flood. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, that was Christina Bobb was running interference for that.
My turn.
So, I'm glad she got indicted.
My turn.
I just have to point. Hold on, I got to point out the funny thing about So they flooded the server room where the surveillance servers were, the servers that took all the camera video in, right? Except them doing that had absolutely no effect because all of the video was actually backed up to the cloud, someone else's server.
Oh, that pesky cloud.
Well done.
I hate clouds.
So hold on. I think it's very nice of Michael Flynn to continually loan Trump his lawyers. You got Al, you got Bob, but I think it's also very important to know that Christina Bobb, we should all be very comforted by the fact that she is now the RNC's election integrity lawyer, which is as newspeak and Orwellian as you can possibly get. The election integrity lawyer. That's where we're headed, kids. We're headed into really bad Soviet era euphemisms for this shit. So
we have always been at war with East Asia.
Exactly.
She worked at OAN, which is the most hilarious Russian propaganda the channel there is. Except, maybe RSBN is worse. But
so funny, I forgot to laugh.
OAN, by the way, is funded by an old man who took a trip to Russia, picked up a honeypot, and then started One American News.
Don't they all?
I'm not making it up, though. He was like 70 years old. He took a trip. All of a sudden, he came home with his hot Russian and started OAN.
So you got OAN, you got RSBN, but let's not forget that there is also Rumble, which is a massive disinformation alternative to YouTube that was funded by.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Yeah. So we only have
Rumble up there with Telegram as the most damaging network. I mean, it is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's helpful. It's helpful. They've aggregated all the bad things there. So, you ever want to see any bad shit, just go to Rumble and type anything. I mean, it's crazy. Like that thing. I've studied the entire evolution of Rumble from when it was a pup. It was right before the 2020 election that it was still this teeny tiny little Canadian pet video site. But I guess the Canada thing, and it had a little infrastructure. So Peter Thiel's like, "You're going to be my Russian propaganda website." And I mean, holy shit. So he pays Tulsi Gabbard. He pays.
She auditioning for VP too, man.
She's auditioning for VP. Oh, by the way, you know who else is really auditioning for VP?
Christino?
Flynn. If you look at all of his little testimonial videos, he picks out all the people who are like, "Oh, I just hope he's on the ticket in 2024." I mean, it's just over and over again. They just, it happens to be all these people that love them. Some General Flynn want him to be vice president.
Wow.
So what?
Nice to be loved.
Who's gonna win the lotto? I don't know, but I'm
it ain't gonna be him unless Putin is on.
Well, if it's not, there's gonna be trouble.
Well, I'm telling you, it's not.
I am not in any way kidding.
If Trump has any say, it will not be. Trump judges people on a 0 to 10 scale. He's only looking for a 10. In Pence's world, in Trump's world, Pence was that 10. he was nice from all angles, and he had all the Christian fascists with him. So there's a lot of baggage coming with the other guy, like pleading guilty to the FBI and stuff. So it ain't gonna be him.
I think you are underestimating the power of Mike Flynn.
Well, the power of Putin.
Hold on. And the fucking Russians that have compromised are all of them.
Yes, I know.
I'm not being balloon on here. Listen.
I know you're not.
In 2016, the Russians hacked the DNC and the RNC.
Yes.
They got all the shit from the RNC too.
Yes.
0 of those emails, none of those things were spread around. And why is that? To compromise people. People like Flynn and others, it is a murder-suicide pact. I
understand. But all I'm saying...
I'm not arguing with you, Heidi, anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it is these people are tied at the hip. And so, there's no separating, this movement.
Well, if Trump was able to make his decision himself without the Russians, just hypothetically speaking, he'd be looking for a Q factor, and he would be looking for that perfect 10, because that's what he's a very shallow man, is all I'm saying. So it'd be somebody like Kushner or Ivanka, you know what I mean? Somebody who's like good from all
Watch him pick Alina Habba for VP.
I'm just saying, somebody good from all angles, somebody who won't gum up the works next time he's trying to coup the country.
I'm going to call him Hobsky now. Hobsky.
Next time he's trying to coup the country, he can't take any chances on somebody who won't go all the way pedal to the metal and coup it with him. So, yeah, but I mean, he tried to kill the last VP, so you'd think it'd be a little bit like, when people are auditioning very
honestly,
hard.
yeah, I'm surprised so many people are auditioning for a job that can get you killed.
Oh, well, like Jim just said, Jim wins. It's a murder-suicide pact. That's what it is.
And let me be clear. I mean, Flynn is the one who sent all those people after Mike Pence in fucking Capitol. And the guy who invented it is this little munchkin motherfucker named Ivan Raiklin, who's on his tour. Who's on the tour with Mike Flynn.
All the insurrectionists are there, right? It's scary.
The Pence card.
What?
The Pence card.
The Pence card, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the Pence card ended up in Hang Mike Pence, Hang Mike Pence.
God,
and if you hear Flynn talk about either, and this is important, either Pence or Trump, he's real mad still about not being vice president in 2016.
All right.
Because he feels like if he had been vice presidential candidate, none of this would happen. We'd have been a dictator from day one. It's basically the point that he constantly makes.
So scary.
And so, fascism doesn't stop.
I know.
Don't stop. This is not going to stop unless we fucking stop it. The Supreme Court's not going to stop. Mike Flynn's not going to stop. One of it's going to stop. We have to stop it. We have to step up and stop it. And yes, we have to vote, but we're going to have to start putting real pressure on these people. Otherwise, they're going to have their way.
That's right. But here's some other good news, I think, where this is a place where we've been talking a long time about where we can put pressure. We have more evidence that Charles Flynn delayed help to the Capitol Police, like our friend Aquilino Ganell, who was on our show, and also that there was a cover-up. Can we talk about that? Because that seemed to come at the same time as we were going through some heat.
I don't know that had anything to do with it. I mean, there was another hearing in which more people said the same thing that lots and lots of people have already said.
Yeah.
In many, many circumstances, that Charles Flynn is a fucking liar. Mm-hmm. That he literally lied to Congress, to the American people, right to our face. He lied to the Inspector General of the Defense Department. He fucking lies. He was put in place. He was given his nomination to get a 4th star, which put him in position to interfere with J6 on the same fucking day his brother was given his illegal pardon. The same day. And there's a reason for that, because it's all symbolic and fuck you, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do. And so yes, there were some additional National Guards people who said that Charles Flynn is a liar and
liar. Can we do something with that? Is there something that we can do? Is there an action we can take?
I from the fucking day this happened, a couple, from a few days after, I was like, what happened? Why is Charles Flynn involved here? Because there were reports about it, and then they denied it, and all this shit.
Covered up.
I was like, I'm sorry, why in the fuck is Charles Flynn all of a sudden in the Pentagon making decisions about the National Guard when his brother was in front of the Capitol the night before saying, digital soldiers, be ready to die tomorrow? What the fuck? And nobody has ever explained this or addressed it in any significant way. So it's great that they're going to do this. But here's the thing. The military is not going to do shit about him. No, and that is the part that scares me more than anything else.
Right.
What is the damage, the corruption that's going on in the Defense Department that's allowing them to ignore this?
I don't know.
Just completely pretend like their retired 3-star over here is not trying to overthrow the fucking government, and their active 4-star didn't lie about helping the 3-star with an actual insurrection.
It's almost like a Supreme Court justice being married to an insurrectionist and not recusing himself. It's almost like that. It's almost like that.
It's performance art, right? It's performance art to own the libs. Just like we can fucking do anything we want. And unfortunately, it's proving out to be true.
My concern is that I have to be in acceptance about the fact that no one's coming to save us, and that it's what you said, Jim, what you just wrote, how we have to collectively make sure people understand this enough to start mobilizing the public and get the type of public, action and outrage that this deserves. Because if no one's coming to save us, then it's up to us, and it's up to what we do.
It is. It is up to us to demand that our systems work and to put the pressure on them wherever we can, and to, just stand up to these people. Even if it's just taking some balloons from a fascist movie theater and yanking them around the internet for fucking week while he sent his whiny little stalkers at us instead of dealing.
Malevolent toadies.
For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I am ballooning on. All your balloons belong to us now.
All your balloon.
I think you might want to just give like a 60-second summary on that.
What's that?
I think you need to give a summary on that, babe.
Okay, so Mike Flynn Jr. was tweeting about one of his events at one of his places, and he put "calm before the storm" on it. I was like, okay, Q or something. I don't know. I was like, here's Junior doing more Q shit, and he said, "I challenge you, you little bitch.
Come debate me, bro.
Liberal bitch, you just come to any of our events." I was like, okay, how's Friday? And the little bitch went dark on Twitter. Like, he tweets all the time the dumbest, stupidest shit. Dark. He disappeared into a little hole by this thing. And just pretended that I didn't exist. In the meantime,
wait, I have to ask you a question. Is that what fight like a Flynn means? To challenge somebody and then disappear?
Yeah, it's like poke them and then run away like a pussy. That's fight like a Flynn. Apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, so I said, yo, bro, okay, I'll see you Friday. And instead of anything, we got attacked like by a bunch of fucking animals, and saying the craziest shit, trying to all kinds of crazy fucking shit went down.
Predictable.
Because Mike Flynn Jr. is a pussy. That's what it comes down to. Literally, the guy.
Is there another word? Is there another word? Like
no,
sap?
no, it's a perfect word for Mike Flynn Jr. There are worse words that I could use.
It's short for pusillanimous, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, whatever. He's a coward.
Thank you, HiFi.
Whiny little fascist, a little proud boy. Best buddies with Joe fucking Biggs, by the way, who's currently in fucking prison. And best buddies
that sucks.
with one of my chief stalker pals.
Yeah.
Anywho, Mike Flynn Jr. pussed out, and so I started owning him about it, and I went to the location. I went to where he was, and I kept saying I was tweeting out along the way, yo, get in there, coming, Junior, let's go. And he just went dark, refused to respond to me. So I got his balloons. I had my ticket. I had my fucking hoodie. And I let him know that he didn't fucking show up. And ever since, it has been, the Flynn family has been in the biggest snit. All of them are just so mad. You didn't show up. You could have just gone and confronted him. So just briefly.
Yeah, that's how you catch a charge, bro.
Well, here's the thing, right? Yes, I'm gonna walk into a compound in the woods that you have to get through on a fucking golf cart. Okay, like this event was in the woods outside with a bunch of frogs fucking in the background.
Some of our friends were there. Yeah.
You could hear it on from the recording that they put online. And so I'm not gonna go to the middle of this fucking like weird. It was like a right wing campground, right? With little buildings, and they had one outhouse and shit. And so they wanted me to uninvited now because he ignored me 4 days. Like stroll in there and walk up to Mike Flynn when I've got 7 or 8 people with weapons and who are insurrectionists, criminals, Green Berets, psychological warfare veterans. Fuck you. I was not born yesterday. If you invite me, I'm bringing a camera crew.
Yeah.
If you don't, I'm just gonna tell you that you're a fucking coward, and you are. You blew it. You had your chance at Blueanon, and I own you, and now Blueanon is Balloonanon, bitch.
Balloonanon.
If only your avatar was real, Jim. Oh.
I know, I'm hot.
All kinds of hotness there. Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
and that's why AI is a lie. Anyway.
Easy rider, 30 years.
Anyway, that was a longer Balloonanon story than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that, because it came, last week was just madness, and
it was very madness.
It's gonna be a shit show, kids, between now and November, and we're still gonna keep doing great work. That interview with Tom Carter was, I think, one of our. I mean, I say this every week, so I think all our content's great. And by the way, please watch it. It's an hour and 19 minutes, and it's amazing. And support RadPod. Share it with your friends. Thank you very much. And we appreciate you. Do we have anything else to say, gentlemen?
Hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, follow us on Twitter, write your local representatives, stop putting up with bullshit. Trump needs to go to prison. And here's a video to go out on because y'all need to buck the fuck up.
In today's news,
corporate price gouging. New abortion ban.
Yes. Doom. That's all there is. Nothing can stop it. Doom!
We know things feel bleak right now. We can all feel
helpless, useless. I will suck them into despair.
But buck the up.
Wait! I need them powerless!
Come on. Ah,
thanks.
We decide what comes next. We have made history before, and we will do it again.